From Louisville, Kentucky. Somebody complaining I need a new mic. I guess the short video we did a few hours ago with Sticker Kid, it was a little far from me when we did the video. He said it wasn't very loud. Oh, I can't please everybody. How's it going out there? My voice projects. I'm pretty sure you can hear me.
Mikey said good evening.
How you doing, Mikey Arugula? We love your short videos you're putting out there. One every day, it looks like. You're today,
a couple.
Today you were at Polly's T-shirt Express, and you had your buddy Ted there, and it was pretty funny. It's so strange that the most recognized song by the regular public now, when you interview them, is "Yellow Submarine."
Don't touch me.
You want to show your yellow
Don't
submarine,
touch
sir?
me.
So you got a late birthday present today. What'd you get?
Oh no, bike.
What kind of bike?
A blue one.
Blue one?
A blue bike.
A mountain bike.
A mountain bike. How many inches was the wheel?
What?
26.
26. How many speeds?
I don't know.
6.
Have you read any of that manual yet?
I forgot it.
Oh my gosh.
Polly said good evening.
How you doing, Polly?
Uncle Paul and Mikey's talking about the Wednesday. They said
Uncle Paul, we're going to do next Wednesday, I think it's episode 6, Every Little Thing Beatles, episode 6, with Mikey Arugula and Uncle Paul. And it's all going to be concentrating on the Yellow Submarine. I guess it's all going to be from 1968 memorabilia.
Nicole said I'm in the house.
Nicole, how's it going? Nicole, have you played your Tommy UK first pressing yet? Did Pinball Wizard blow you away? It did me.
Thomas Crook said hello, Sticker family.
How you doing, Thomas Crook?
The Little Beatles Corner said hello to everyone in our group tonight.
How you doing, Patricia? We sent out your handwritten or hand typed out. You know the story better than I do, but
Yeah, I haven't seen tracking numbers.
George Harrison's mom, the letter and the postcard, we sent them out today. So thanks a lot. You know a lot more about it than I do.
Mikey said he gave me a shirt like Sticker Kid.
All right, he has a Yellow Submarine, but I think Mikey got a long sleeve shirt. I think I saw in the video. So those now and then clocks, does he make those with that 3D printer he has? That's pretty amazing how he's able to make those things.
Uncle Paul said, thanks Frank, I have to send more shirts. I saw Little Jack today at the record show.
Uncle Paul did?
Yeah.
All right. Little Jack, yes.
Joseph said hello everybody, hello Sticker family.
How you doing, Joseph? It's your turn.
I need to get something.
Okay, go ahead.
And then yes is for the long sleeve.
You projected.
So it is a long sleeve.
Yeah. Can you get by there, Skinny? All right, one little note about The Who, and then I'll put this album away. The Who, a couple days, announced their Song Is Over, the final North American tour for August and September. They're going to play stadiums. Who's out there going to try to get tickets to see The Who on the final tour of America? And I believe this is the final tour because Roger Daltrey in the interview, he has a hard time communicating himself, much less sing these songs. So they are on their last tour. He didn't even know if they'd be able to tour the United Kingdom after the USA tour. What other notes? Harry's Music Room. You know, he did that trivia question contest against Mazzy, and Rachel came up with the questions and was a moderator. And Harry wants to do another one in 2 weeks, and he asked me if I would get on there and compete against Mazzy and maybe Joe Mayo, and I said sure. Mazzy's probably going to beat me, but I'll give it a try. I'm more focused on memorabilia and audiophile pressings. Mazzy is the king of Beatles trivia. A few other notes I wrote down. You know that Daniel like this. Brian Epstein, what is it? Alistair Taylor. In one of his last interviews, he said that Brian Epstein, the first time he heard Ray Charles' song "Georgia on My Mind," Brian Epstein predicted it was going to be a hit all over the world. Epstein, I'm saying that wrong. Brian Epstein. They say it both different ways, so I guess either way is right. But he predicted Ray Charles' "Georgia on My Mind" was going to be a huge hit, and he ordered a couple hundred copies of them. And his employees at the record store thought he was crazy, but he sold them all.
T-Shirt Express said, "Hey y'all."
How you doing, Polly? From T-Shirts Express. We got your card here somewhere.
I thought it was Polly.
Rolling Stones, they just got the rumors. Well, they saw that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are in London, and they're going to record the new album in London with Andrew Watt again as a producer. And they're going to try to rush it release for the Christmas season. We'll see if that happens. You okay there, STICKERKIN?
What are you looking at?
What am I looking at? A couple other notes. Jack Harlow, he's our local music star. The Louisville rapper Jack Harlow is from Louisville, Kentucky. You guys heard of Jack Harlow? I'm beginning to like a few of his songs. He's got a few songs that he does with some singers that are pretty good. And Chapel Roan, that outfit she wore at the what do you call it? The Met Gala in New York. I guess it was a 2-day affair. Took 110,000 hours to create that outfit she wore. 110,000 hours by several people. Paul Tazoui was the in charge, and Genesis Webb is Chapel's personal costume creator. But that outfit that she wore was a tribute to the 70s act Sylvester. I'm not too real familiar with who Sylvester is. Maybe a few of you know out there. And then on The Masked Singer, that crazy TV show where they're all dressed up in those crazy costumes, they're doing a parody of Pink Pony Club, and it's called Soak in Her Tub. So that's pretty funny. And I think that's all my chapel notes. Show me my signed album there. It's amazing that Chapel's signed album is up there with value of a Ringo Starr signed album. And her outfits, like the Hot to Go outfit that went for $85,000, that's kind of got to be up there with an outfit that the Beatles wore when they were famous. Amazing how time marches on. Butcher covers, give me the Mr. Underscore, the other one. A couple people have been messaging me through eBay about me peeling a butcher cover for them, and I can't send a direct message through eBay about something that's not concerning buying and selling. So if you're wanting me to peel a butcher cover, you got to get a hold of me on Mr. Underscore StickerMania at yahoo.com. And my fee is $400 a peel, and I can only peel the East Coast butcher covers.
Okay.
The last one I peeled, I showed you on it last week, went out in the mail today that I sold. It was only in very good condition, sold for $1,300. But this is my beautiful second state in the factory shrink with the breathe holes, no seam splits, nice edges, 4 square corners. And the price on that is a firm $3,000. Get a hold of me through my Mr_StickerMania at yahoo.com.
Daniel Castillo said Ray Charles is a legend even though he's often overlooked by others.
Well, Brian Epstein realized he was a legend as soon as he heard Georgia on My Mind.
T-Shirt Express said there's my boy with his yellow sub shirt.
You gonna wave hi? Somebody shouted you out. You gonna say hi? Come on, Sticker. Just say hi. You got a late birthday present today. You were just out on your bike.
Don't you mean early?
I thought it was a late birthday present.
Your birthday's in February, that's late.
So the Let It Be box set I was telling you about, the first pressing from 1970 that went on eBay that was factory sealed, sold for $3,000 yesterday. Isn't that amazing? Any questions for show what I got on the table? We're going to give this away with a trivia question today. One of these Abbey Road plates that's in the original shipping box with all the paperwork. Any questions?
No.
All right, show you what's on the table here. One more thing, Kevin from Kevin Records. We went 50-50 the other day on a CT auction, CT bids auction online. And the lady grew up in New York area. And the auction was in Chesapeake, Virginia. And some of the things that we won in the auction that we'll get next week. I got a Beatles UK mono first pressing of Sgt. Pepper. A mono first press UK of Rubber Soul. And a mono first press of Help in the auction. All desirable albums. And also they had a Magical Mystery Tour EP, the first pressing of a mono that has the Garfield, it has the printing down there on the flap, on the middle of it, where you can tell it's the first pressing. And one thing we bought, it's really cool. It's going to take up most of the back here, 6 foot by 4 foot. I guess this was her estate. The lady that grew up in New York, but she had an enlarged 6 foot by 4 foot photo of her and her friends at Shea Stadium in the audience with the Beatles pins on and the cameras and the binoculars. And it's going to take up most of the back of me on our live streams when I get that in. So that was the thing we were most going after. There was a photo of her and her 3 friends. They must have been presidents of Beatles fan clubs. And they got a picture of the 4 of the girls in front of the Beatles. A real quick photo, but that went for like $350, so we lost out on that one.
Whoa.
So also in that auction was Columbia 2i first pressings of mono Bob Dylan albums. First press mono albums from the Rolling Stones. And there's a mystery boxes. We're getting like these 6 big boxes of Carrier that you put your 45s in back in the 60s. And one of them has a blue tote, like a kid's record tote, something like this, only the ones they made in the United States. And it says on the front, it says, "I love the Beatles." So I'm looking forward to what's going to be inside that mystery box. That's most of my notes. All right, what's on the table? Just got this in today. This magazine insert from May of 1970. And the title is The Beatles Sour Apple. This is when Apple was all falling apart. The first page of the article's got a picture of our good old buddy Alan Klein. Well, he fired that Alistair Taylor. Alistair Taylor told that story. John Lennon there, real unkempt at the Apple offices. And these are all pretty cool here. Shows Paul with Mary Hopkins with her first album, Postcards. George Harrison with Derek Taylor and Mal Evans. And the Beatles at a conference table there at the Apple headquarters there on 3 Seville Road. I do know that trivia question. Ringo Starr and a couple girls that worked at the Apple boutique. Got this in today. I've only had 3 of these in real nice shape in my lifetime. This is in excellent condition, 4 by the Beatles. It's a hard cardboard cover EP to get from summer of 1964 because over time it shows rub wear real easy on the pictures. No seam splits. A little bit of edge wear there on the top. In a excellent condition, matching East Coast record. The East Coast were green and the West Coast were, this is the East Coast and the West Coast, I'm pretty sure they were blue. And that's a, whatever kind of green you call that. Price on that is $200 if somebody's interested. And we got another one of these I sold earlier today on eBay. Pretty sure it sold to Arthur Cohen. He's one of my best customers. The PYX vinyl 7-inch carrier, the way they made them in England in 1963. Had about 5 of these in my lifetime. I sold one to Dave Fraser that had the blue. Maybe Mikey's got one with the blue backing, but the red one is more common. Can you put that over on the table?
Uncle Paul said, and they didn't spell out records on the label.
Yeah, you're right. The West Coast has records under the capital, where the East Coast doesn't. Way to go, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul knows the stuff. Maybe we better get you on the trivia question on Harry's Music Room. You want to do that sometime? Did I show Kevin's records card?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Does he even sell stuff?
Yes.
My bad.
Last 2 things on the table. And where I'm pretty much an expert on is these audiophile pressings. This is the one I push all the time. I think I've caused the value of this to go up a bit. Beatles for sale. All tube cut, -1 stereo. Made from the original metalwork. This is a 1968 pressing. On side 1, there's no sold in the UK along the label, but on side 2 there is.
Johnny Ramone said, A-slot A being the 2-cut vinyl, -1, stereo Beatles for sale with CD, stereo Beatles for sale, same album, song for song, -1 volume needs to be boosted to match the CD. No differences, both great.
Huh. No differences. I beg to, we agree to disagree. If you have a nice stereo system and the right room treatment, this pressing will blow you away. Ask Mikey's friend, Beetle Don. Can't tell me a CD will ever sound as good as this pressing. I would disagree with you on that all the way to the bank. You want to take a break?
I'll listen.
Festy.
Okay, go ahead and get something to drink.
Oh my god.
Oh
Daniel
my God.
could still shut up.
Calm
Daniel
down.
Costello said that same record sleeve came with a collection of Beatles
That wasn't me.
oldies.
With what?
Johnny Ramone says subjective, dude.
But do the Danny.
I
'cause
did say it.
He didn't hear it. He asked. what-
Daniel said that same record sleeve came with a collection of Beatles oldies.
This sleeve? Collection of Beatle oldies. I don't have one right here right now, but it's out a different cover. I have a,
The pink one with the advertisements.
oh, you mean the inner sleeve. Yes. This one has Pink Floyd and Sgt. Pepper. This is a 68 inner sleeve and scaffold. Every year they change these inner sleeves a little bit on which albums they wanted to promote, kind of like Capitol Records did. And you guys were talking about that on the last stream. So here's the Capitol Records inner sleeves, the way they went down. 1965. You had Beatles 65 there on the top. The way Rubber Soul would have come in. And then the Butcher cover came with the Goldenrod inner sleeve. Capitol 66. Sounds great. And then Revolver and late August of 66 would have come out like this. It has Revolver, Rubber Soul, and Yesterday and Today on the top. That answers your questions on the inner sleeves.
Greg Field, 1955, said, +1, listen to both on great system, laughing all the way to the bank, 200 versus 40.
That's what he's saying. The price. He's saying $200 was $40. Same thing, I guess. Whatever.
It's not the same thing if you don't have a -1. If you have a -3 or a -2, it's not the same hot mix, hot stamper that a -1 tube cut is. Because after 1969, when they were pressing the records in England, they had solid state equipment instead of tube equipment. And so it's nowhere near as a hot stamper if you don't get the original 1960s pressings. Like the Rubber Soul, -5. Hazel Yarwood, mono cut. This sold to Woofy Baby today for close to $200. The way you want to hear Rubber Soul. It wasn't too good in the stereo cut. The only Beatles album that was ever mastered by a female was this pressing here of Rubber Soul.
Be great.
Craig said, -1 here to compare, no doubts.
Okay. All right, let's do our trivia question contest for Saturday night. Are you ready?
Elvis Cup guys.
Elvis Cup guy said, hello, Mr. Sticker Mania.
How you doing, Elvis Cup guy? I've seen a couple of your videos. How you doing? All right, that's the paperwork for this. And
Can I throw it, see if it breaks?
it'll break. Plate number 5187B, limited edition of Abbey Road, plate 5 in the Beatles 67 to 1970 collection, made by Delphi. 1993. 1993
Ow!
seems like something new, but think how long ago 1993 was. Sounds to me like that's about 22 years ago. Here are the 3 questions. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get up with the tattoo.
All right, you ready, Freddie? When did EMI or Abbey Road Studios, it used to be called EMI Recording Studios before they changed the name when the Beatles released Abbey Road. When did EMI Recording Studios, what year did it open up? That's question 1. Question 2, what was the original name of the Abbey Road album? Before it was called Abbey Road, the Beatles were going to call it something else. That's question 2. 3, last question. How many minutes was Abbey Road closed down for the 11 a.m. photo shoot? How many minutes was Abbey Road closed down by the police when they were shooting the cover of Abbey Road?
Probably an hour.
No, that's
So
not
is
the
that
answer.
11?
How many minutes?
32.
No.
Stop guessing.
46.
Stop guessing.
They didn't give him much time. I'll give you a hint.
All right, go ahead, do Nicole.
2 minutes.
Now do Nicole.
Nicole said
Well, let me see.
It's-
Let me see.
No,
This
she said,
ain't-
she said something else
this is
before.
something
that
else.
was saying. But
What's
now
this?
you got people doing this. Do the
Alright.
answers now.
All right, where are we at?
Greg.
Where's Greg? Is Greg the first one? No. 1976. How would that go way off there? 55. What year did EMI Recording Studios open up?
They're saying 1955.
No.
T-shirt.
T-Shirt Express is getting close.
Then Daniel.
You guys might be right on the. I'm gonna have to give it to T-Shirt Express because when I looked it up, it says 1929. T-Shirt Express says 33, and Daniel says 31. So we'll give it to T-Shirt Express. Way to go, Polly. So the research I said that EMI Recording Studios opened up in 1929. That's pretty close to your guys' answer. What was the original name of the Abbey Road album the Beatles wanted to do was Everest after a pack of cigarettes? And how many minutes was Abbey Road closed down for the 11 a.m. photo shoot? They only gave him 10 minutes.
Nicole said it's the same girl.
Hold on, wait. Let him congratulate.
Way to go,
Polly.
Polly.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot, Polly. You
Okay,
did great.
now I'll do the Nicole.
Yeah. Okay, Nicole. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're
Okay,
right.
I'll go now.
All right.
Nicole said it's the same goes for -1 solid blue triangle UK Dark Side of the Moon. Only 30th anniversary comes close.
Talking about the.
But the first press is always better. The Abbey Road or the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon with the solid blue triangle sold for, I think it was $1,700 by Billy Shear's eBay store in England. And he just put up another one that's going to go off in 5 days. And he put up another, pretty sure he put up another Rubber Soul -5, and he put up another UK mono first press from the United Kingdom of 1968. So Billy Shear's eBay store in England, he's got those high-end Beatles audiophile tube cut pressings.
What's everyone's favorite Beatles song?
Yeah, that's Uncle or
Mikey.
Mikey is changing the world on that, because if you look up what's the most famous stream song from the young crowd, it's Here Comes the Sun. But almost every person that Mikey asks on the street says Yellow Submarine.
Here comes
So this
the
goes to
sun.
Polly.
My favorite is.
So
Here comes the sun.
we're about 68 subscribers before we get to 2,500. Will I give away this peeled West Coast butcher cover? I was sitting by Mikey Arugolo at the Fest for Beatle Fans in New Jersey, and I won this in the auction. So when I get to 2,500 subscribers, I think we're at like 2431. We will give this away with 3 difficult questions concerning the butcher cover. And I'm pretty much an expert on the history of the butcher cover.
Like, subscribe.
No, just like the video. That's all I need.
Like
you
the
to do.
video.
And not move it. You can show it. Just there you go.
Like and subscribe. The likes help
The
out.
likes help the video get us more.
There's the one I got a lot of likes for on my short was this baby right here. I think I got 65 likes. Not gonna take it out of there now. It's too fragile to show it. Rolling Stones and Mr. McCartney. There's a sealed 1978, the first press of Some Girls, with all the women that didn't want to be on the cover. Their estates and everything got upset and they had to blank them out. Here's a little trivia question for you guys out there. There is a Beatle, if you pull out this die cut inner sleeve, there's a Beatle down here on the bottom next to one of these women. Which Beatle is it? Who's going to get that first? One of the Beatles is on the die cut cover. You do not see him on the cover, but if you pull out the inner sleeve, you do see him.
Uncle Paul said George.
George, that is right. Uncle Paul, you got it. Way to go, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul, you're going to have to come up with some trivia questions concerning Yellow Submarine for the Wednesday live stream.
George.
And this is what I'll give. I'll put this on the table for you, Uncle Paul. This sealed, large size Yellow Submarine puzzle from 1968 King Features, the Blue Minis Attack. I will give away if you come up with the 3 difficult questions concerning Yellow Submarine.
Uncle Paul said I had to play it already. LOL. Greg Fio said adios amigos. Yeah. What?
Thanks for checking in with us, Greg.
Happy Mother's Day to all you.
Yeah, I
mothers.
forgot to bring up Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Jonah Frank's a mom.
Appreciate, my mother's no longer with us. Appreciate your mother if she's still here, alive on the planet Earth.
Happy Mother's Day. T-shirt Express said I'm a Yellow Submarine expert.
So Polly's, you better check our 8:30 p.m. on May 14th with me and Mikey Arugula and Uncle Paul for every little thing. Beatles episode 6. And if you're an expert, Polly, you could win that puzzle.
Uncle Paul said I'm showing my to Jamar, of course.
The what?
Showing my to Jamar, of course, on Wednesday. T-shirt Express said I'll be there. I'm the boss and not be allowed. That guy said hi gang, Perry here.
How you doing? These 3, talking about UK pressings, hot stampers. The UK is the way to go in anything early 70s, like All Things Must Pass, or these Beatle albums. My Ram's not in here right now, but McCartney, these were all part of the BBC gramophone library. McCartney, UK pressing. And Band on the Run. You've never heard Bluebird sound so good until you hear these UK pressings of these Wings albums. And then Red Rose Speedway. This is the one that blew me away because they must have only checked this out twice. So this is an excellent, hardly played condition. And boy, when you hear Big Barn Ben and Get on the Right Thing and Little Lamb Dragonfly, it's truly amazing. They even put a little Apple sticker so they would know, because on the regular label it didn't say Apple on there, so the BBC put a little Apple sticker on the label on both sides.
Uncle Paul said
This is the one I'm not gonna sell because I've never heard Red Rose Speedway sound so dynamic as this pressing right here. There's no way a CD can duplicate the sound on these UK pressings freshly made from the just completed master tapes. What'd you say?
Uncle Paul said Jamar Puzzles.
The what? What about the puzzle?
Jamar Puzzles.
Jamar
That's what he's gonna show.
Oh, Jamar puzzle.
Uncle Paul said Chaperone Minute. Today I picked up her Lollapalooza 2024 on double hot pink vinyl.
All right, that's the her whole 53-minute concert performance on two must be an underground album. I would like to hear that. When we went to the Fest for Beatle fans in Chicago last summer, we went 1 week after Chapel Roan was there at the, what's the name of the park in Chicago? Grant Park?
Probably.
But there were 110,000 people in the audience when Chapel Roan was on stage. And on the other side of the stage, where there was another act on the same time, there were less than 1,000 people.
Uncle Paul.
So all the attention, that they say that's the biggest crowd that a Lollapalooza ever has drawn during the daytime was when Chapel Roan. She wasn't even a headlining act.
The Paul should not be allowed to die guy said, I had the promo stand up of the McCartney back and front cover with no folded spine.
All right.
A Little Beatles Corner said yes, Grant Park. Uncle Paul said yes, it's actually gatefold.
All right. That sounds pretty interesting. Graham Nash of the Hollies and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Okay.
Brad Parnell would like this. A hand-signed paperback book by Graham Nash, Wild Tales.
I saw him today.
You saw Brad Parnell today at the store, right?
Yeah. He said there's a game tonight he's going to be watching. He keeps forgetting about the 8:30 time, but he'll watch it.
He said he watches it on the back end. He says.
The Please Please Me, the same pressing as the Dub Beatles, -2, The best way to hear the Please Please Me album is this Germany pressing, another hot stamper audiophile pressing from about 1977. And I have another Magical Mystery Tour from Germany coming with the -1, -3 true stereo cut coming next week.
John H. said chaperone on new Ann Wilson podcast.
All right, I'll check that out. Ann Wilson from Heart. I think that's what you're talking about. She gets around to all the, Chapel's become a fashion model. She gets to all the fashion shows. She gets to all the podcasts. See, the creators are making her the best costumes, the most elaborate costumes in the world. Chapel is hot right now, and she's going to start performing. Starts in Poland in just a few weeks, I think. But she's probably going to be at the American, what's the awards coming up? Memorial Day with J-Lo as a host. Is it the American Music Awards?
VMAs?
No, the VMAs already happened. I think it's American Music Award. But Chapel's up for 7 awards.
How many award ceremonies do they got?
They have a lot.
Music Awards, yeah.
Yeah, American Music Awards. And Memorial Day, only a few weeks. Saturday Night Live, I don't know if they have a new one tonight or not. You guys know out there?
Hi,
How you doing, Wolfie baby? We're gonna get your
Are you a drummer?
your rubber sole out to you to Monday. I am not a drummer.
Okay. I was gonna get you a drum.
Way to go, Wolfie baby. Snapped up my better, very good plus condition of the -5 Hazel Yarwood cut. Wolfie baby got my Can't Buy Me Love picture sleeve, and I threw in an extra Kinks album to package it in, and he appreciated that he didn't have that Kinks album. Show the cartoon figures. Let's show the lunchbox there by you.
Oh, Johnny Ramone.
You
said
showed it
Wings
earlier.
Drama.
I haven't shown the lunchboxes. What Johnny Ramone saying?
Say it.
Wings, drummer.
Wings drummer. Which one are you talking about? They had several Wings drummers.
I don't know.
The one on Wings Over America.
It's a drummer with wings.
Oh, no, he said Denny. She missed the whole thing. Any drummers here, Denny sees well.
Denny
his dad
Swell.
sizing his stuff is what she's talking
Donnie
about.
But he was asking them.
Denny Swell is a heck of a drummer.
I didn't tell Papa because he wasn't asking.
So we got
I know, but I thought
our
that-
lunchbox, our thermos, and our brunch bag. 1965 Aladdin. If you look this up, this is the nicest one on the internet in the last year. C9 condition.
Can I take that to school and bring it back?
Look at that inside. You don't find them like that from 1965. No, you cannot take this to school.
He got it out there.
Wow.
That would be a bad idea. That's why they're all in poor condition, because they were taken to school.
After everything I do for you,
You know, this one's a little bit different.
I'm the boss, should not be allowed to die, guys.
I've only had 2 of these in my lifetime in this kind of condition.
I'm the boss, should not be allowed to die, guys. Said Hart played my high school dance in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada.
Do you know why? There's 2 reasons why this lunchbox and thermos is worth so much. There's 2 different collectors that want this. Who are they?
Me.
The Beatle collectors and the lunchbox collectors. They both are searching for the same thing.
Are you gonna let me say this comment or not?
This is what they made for the girls. The brunch,
Ow!
They call this the brunch bag.
Someone just punched me.
The cartoon figures. Let's show that one more time.
Let me read the comments.
Yes.
I'm the boss, should not. Shut up.
Hurry up.
Oh, I'm the boss, should not be allowed to die, guys. Said Hart played my high school dance in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada in the 70s. Chaperone is like the sheer was in the 70s with fashion.
You gotta learn
Johnny
to read better because that was
Ramone.
that was a lot of confusion.
Johnny
the way you
Ramone
read that.
said CA lunchbox and thermos here, collectors. Uncle
Yeah.
Paul
Calm down, you've
said
done
bring
this
your
now.
grocery store lunch in it. LOL lunchbox and Beatles is cross collectible.
That's right. Cross collectible. That is the most cross collectible Beatles item there is that lunchbox and thermos. Maybe the movie posters are too, but I put the lunchbox and thermos at the top of the heap for cross collectability. All right, my Beatles 2003. They're on eBay. Show my Sticker Mania 2850, my pink sheet. She's giving up.
Oh, she's mad.
Cause stop hitting me in my
I'll
leg.
put that tattoo
eBay
on.
store, Sticker Mania 2853. And I can't go less on this. Greg was wanting these for, I thought he said $110 ship, but I cannot do that. I gave him a deal $160 ship, but he thought that was too much. But to get these 4 figures, especially Ringo with no damage on the blister pack, they're pretty nice. That's one of the best Spawn figures that ever came out, the Beatle cartoons. They make up a stage. You've seen that before. If you have them all out of the package, there, Ringo's got. They all have part of the stage, and it looks like that when you have all four of them together. $160 ship, and I will pull it off of eBay.
Yeah.
All right, I think we better end this live stream now before I have a World War III here. Thanks for checking with us, and don't forget next Wednesday at what time? 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 14th. Every Little Thing Beatles, episode 6 with
Ariana.
Mikey Arugula and Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. See you later from Louisville.
Have a nice night. See you tomorrow.